I'm Corbett Wall with DV Auction, here with your feeder flash for Tuesday, January the 21st, brought to you in part by VITALIX. Not all tubs are created equal. Stretch your profits with every lick. Give your cattle protein and energy that'll help them get through these cold snaps. VITALIX is offering a tub giveaway to feeder flash gang members. If you're watching this on NationalBeefWire, click the VITALIX ad that's right beside the video here. If you're watching this on YouTube, look down in the description and click VITALIX there. Get the blue tub, your cows will love you. And Beaver County Stockyards in Beaver, Oklahoma, about 2,800 for them, much lighter than what they've been having here. And it's mostly due to the weather. It has been bitter cold around there, some snow showers, but just really bitter cold, and guys struggling keeping their cattle taken care of. They're going to be selling their calves, feeders, and cows here on Tuesday. We'll not be having a cow sale independently from the feeder sale on Wednesday this week. Talked to Lane Conkle. He said so much of their help has just been scrambling, trying to keep their cattle taken care of, keep the ice broke, keep hay out, keep those cattle watched in these bitter cold temperatures that they just thought it would drag them out. They wanted to go ahead and knock both of these sales out here on Tuesday, plus they're really light receipts on cows. So going to have maybe 2,700 feeders here on Tuesday, be about 500 calves. They'll be weighing from 400 to 600 pounds, and 90% of them will be weaned. About 2,200 head of yearling feeders to sell here on Tuesday. 11, maybe 1,200 steers, mostly weighing 700 to 900 pounds, and there'll sure be 12 to 14 loads of yearling steers there, weighing from that 700 to 900 pounds. About 1,000 heifers, most of them weighing in the 6 and 7 weights, but there will be 2 loads of fancy replacement quality heifers weighing about 800 pounds that we'll be selling here on Tuesday at Beaver County Stockyards. After that, they're going to have 100, 150 cows is all. Another reason they wanted to go ahead and get those cows sold and then clean everything up on Tuesday. Let their help get back to taking care of their own cattle or the cattle that they're taking care of after that. But also Lane said, you know, I think maybe our receipts might be winding down because they've been selling 4,000 and 5,000 head almost every week here for the last several. He said we've already sold a lot of the cattle that we would be selling now, but they're expecting a big run next week. But they're also stealing cattle from other places and getting new customers every single week there. But because they're doing such a good job there at Beaver County Stockyards, get a hold of them. Check them out on DVAuction.com. Crown the clear winner. It was the power of the clear winner was apparent on Monday. It was no mistaking who won. It was a convincing win. It was a fair process. There was an exuberant crowd there. So congratulations to Ohio State Buckeyes there. They are the winner of the national championship of college football after a long playoff process, the longest college football season we've ever had. But there's no doubt who the winner of college football was this past year. But also our old friend Donald J. Trump was the clear winner also on Monday, being inaugurated, and just everybody in a good mood, everybody happy, and I know it just burns the handful of liberals that I have that watch this video on a regular basis, but tell you what, you guys are welcome to join us and be optimistic and happy, because that's the way we are. He went right to work. He was signing executive orders, piles of them. The last we saw, Biden couldn't remember how to sign an executive order. It was just so much more fun and confident giving to see a leader of our country that knew where he was at, knew what he was doing, could talk on his own, and just gives you confidence whenever you have strong leadership. The latest we saw out of Biden is he pardoned his whole family in the last second pardons there, and I'm not sure why they needed pardons unless they were guilty of some pretty serious stuff, and I think we know that. But that was just the closing of a completely embarrassing presidency there for him. But I tell you what, the entire country is optimistic. You know, they're behind Trump. They're rooting for him. I'm coming to you from downtown Portland, Oregon. Now, we were downtown on the streets going out to dinner on Monday evening, and there was nobody crying, nobody picketing, nobody walking around with you know, pink on and you know, saying that you know, world was coming to an end. They've accepted that, and truth be known, I think a lot of them are behind him, and I know that a lot of them that didn't vote for him are behind him now, and we welcome them. I tell you what, come on aboard. I tell you what, water's warm right here. But you know, he's telling people, you know, the common sense is back. There's only two genders. Get that straight. You federal workers need to get out of your sweatpants. You need to come to work, show up, put your head down and do some work, visit with your co-workers, and get something productive done. No more laying around, you know, just turning your computers on and making people think that you're doing something there. But tell you what, it was just a great day for the United States, the greatest we've had in several years here, and I think everybody's in a positive attitude. I know I am, and everybody that I come in contact with are. But Monday we had a reprieve from the CME cattle futures, which I think was lucky. You know, it just kind of had the feel that the board was going to open the week down. I would be surprised if it wasn't down significantly here to start the week out on the futures on Tuesday. Your cash market kind of sputtered there mid to late week last week, and I think we're going to take advantage of that. I'm going to show you some prices here later, and we'll kind of confirm that. But we still had good markets around on Monday where they had sales. Our weighted average report come back from our fat cattle market last week, and it was better. So I mean, we're still right there at all-time record highs, but you know, we're susceptible to falling here if we're not going up. And a lot of people think, you know, we're either getting better, we're getting lower, we're never staying the same. But I fear that there's going to be a lot of pressure here on the market this week, and we just need to struggle to try to hold it as good as we can. I think the good thing is a lot of people took advantage of the market and sold early. So I think we're going to be light on receipts here going on through the winter here and into early spring, which should help keep that market up here towards the peaks a little bit. But let's look at your weighted average on last week's negotiated fed cattle trade out of your 5-area feeding region. It was 65,300 head last week, negotiated cash out of the 5-area, compared to 60,900 the previous week and just 29,500 the same week a year ago. Live sales of fat steers and heifers brought $2 to $2.06. That was still $1 to $4 higher. Your weighted average on live steers in the 5-area feeding region was $203.67, another brand new high. That is all-time record high right now as far as a weighted average, and that's the way we gauge it on steers for the week. $203.67. That was up $1.09. Now I'm thinking that's probably going to hold as our record high for quite some time here. But dress sales $318 to $331. That was $1 to $3 higher. And your weighted average on dress steers in your negotiated trade in the 5-area was $321.98. That was another new record high for dress prices there, and that was $173 higher. As a whole, your Southern Plains market was steady to $1 higher at $201. Northern Plains $1 to $3 higher from $203 to $206, and dress trade steady to $2 higher from $320 to $322. Nationwide, we sold 81,000 last week negotiated, compared to 77,000 the previous week and just 37,300 the same week a year ago. Of that 81,000 negotiated, 32% of them or about 25,800 were for the 2 to 4 week delivery. That's a bit higher than what we've been seeing. They're kind of trying to set us up and have plenty of cattle available whenever they get down further into further weeks there. Negotiated grid sales last week totaled 52,300. Forward contracting totaled 39,200. And formula sales last week 276,300 head. Of the 4 out of 5 feeding areas we see negotiated cash, we get information from Iowa sold 25,100, Nebraska sold 28,900, Kansas 9,700 head, and Texas just 1,550 head out of all the feedlots in the Texas Panhandle, western Oklahoma, and eastern New Mexico. Box beef cutout values were lower, but not much lower on Monday, and it was a holiday, so it's probably not as meaningful there. Choice cuts down 53 cents is all at $333.16. Selects down 39 cents at $319.44. Your slaughter to start the week out on Monday was about typical, 115,000 estimated cattle slaughter, 2,000 less than a week ago, 3,000 better than the same week a year ago. Talk about your feeder cattle market. Your real-time index on DVAuction late in the day on Monday after all your feeder sales had closed was sitting at 276.80, down 73 cents. And your latest CME cash feeder cattle index at 277.06. Your big sales on Monday, of course, we have all our big, commodity type cattle, big high volume sales on Monday. Oklahoma National Stockyards in Oklahoma City at 7,100. Feeder steers over 700 pounds were $2 to $4 lower. Under 700 pounds were $1 to $4 higher. Feeder heifers were steady to $5 lower, and calves, steer and heifer calves, both steady to $4 higher. So they're still going after the lighter weight stockers. They're starting to pull back on the feeders of all classes, but this is the first time for quite some time that we've seen up and down markets where the downers are outweighing the gainers there. But Joplin Regional Stockyards, Carthage, Missouri, had 12,600 head. The market was up and down there, mostly steady. The market reporter there called steers mostly steady, but under 475 pound. The little peewees, $12 cheaper, but $12 ain't much when they're bringing over $4 a pound, guys. Heifers were very uneven, from 2 lower to 8 higher. Jackie Moore, their owner manager of Joplin Regional Stockyards, on his YouTube video that I encourage you to watch, he thought it was just mostly steady, a little unevenness, but a lot of higher there. But I'm not going to argue with any of them, and I'm going to give that to you as your National BeefWire stick-out sale of the day, and I'm going to leave the changes on the weighted average from the previous week on there, and you guys can be the judge. Take a look at them and see what you think. They're up and down, but mostly steady there on well-tested weight groups. But check them out. 698 head of full-weight steers average 465 with a weighted average price of $362.84. 1,100 head of 5-weight steers average 558 at $331.44. 1,773 head of 6-weight steers average 653 with a weighted average price of $297.11. I think that's pretty impressive. About 1,617 head of 7-weight steers average 753 at $269.45. 1,255 head of 8-weight steers averaged 828 at $255.46. And 703 head of 9-weight steers averaged 939 at $246.56. Look at some heifers that are well tested in the weight groups. 891 head of 4-weight heifers averaged 460 at $324.52. 1,248 head of 5-weight heifers averaged 545 at $295.17. 1,132 head of 6-weight heifers averaged 643 at $270.27. And 935 head of 7-weight heifers average 745 at $246.31. That is your market in the lower Midwest, guys. Those are well-tested weight groups, a lot of volume in them. That's what the cattle are worth. Give you a few individual quotes. How about the little market with the big prices? Sylvan Sales Commission in Sylvan Grove, Kansas. They sell 62 steers, weight 825 at 275 and a quarter. Now that's a hell of a quote. Didn't see many cattle bring near that high, and that is not as high as your index levels are, weighing just over 8, guys. So you know these index levels are going to be falling in a big way, and that's going to affect your board in a big way. So be looking for that. I'm just trying to warn you guys. Now, the only market that I saw that had any loads of steers weighing over 8, where the price on that individual quote was higher than the index levels, and that was West Point, Nebraska. West Point Livestock Auction, they sold 70 steers, not as heavy as those in Sylvan Grove, Kansas. They weighed 814 and bring 278 and a quarter. Now that was just a little bit higher than your index levels on an 800-pound steer. So I'm telling you, those index levels are going to be falling big time here as we go forth. Now, the most impressive quote that I saw anywhere on Monday, your Macrocin, no BS, top quote for the day, come out of Sioux Falls Regional Livestock in Worthing, South Dakota. It was 60 head of steer calves, weighed 512 pounds, and bring 392. And that's your feeder flash for Tuesday.